What's going on, YouTube? This is Luke with Endless Entrepreneurs. I'm actually coming to you guys tonight from Cincinnati. I'm traveling for work tonight. Those of you new to my channel, well, first of all, I apologize for the video quality. The hotel Wi-Fi is less than ideal. Wish it was a little better, but it's not. I do have now is doing all right, but I am traveling for business. If you're new to my channel, I am a part-time eBay seller, a full-time corporate finance analyst. That's why I'm traveling and in a hotel room. And I just thought this is a good opportunity to talk about having a career and building a business. I think there's a lot of focus around building a business so you can leave your career, and not as much talk about building a career and building a business. And I don't think that either is wrong, and I fully support anyone wanting their own freedom, but I just thought it'd be kind of a unique twist to talk about the other perspective of, what it means to me to still have a career, what I get out of it, what it's like to build both, the challenges that come with it. I just thought it'd be a cool Q&A before I go to sleep since 4 a.m. So I'm going to try to stay functional for you guys and hopefully get some good Q&A and stuff at the end. Travel most of the morning, then I'm working all day, and just finish up some stuff. So kind of relaxing right now. Thought I'd come to you guys and connect. Let me shout some people out in the chat over here. I got a second monitor up so I can kind of see what's going on. Hi, Chonta. Hi. Reseller Rockefeller. Hey, Tony. Hey, Drummer. Hi, Lockley. Thanks for stopping in, guys. Yeah, go to bed. I'll be going to bed here in about a half hour, but I wanted to jump on here real quick. Hi, SoCal. So I'm going to just kind of jump in, and I'm going to try not to ramble too much. I jotted down some notes to keep me on task just because I'm a little low on sleep here. But I want to talk about kind of one of the big advantages of having a career or a job and also building your business kind of in your spare time is that you have a lot of extra capital, right? There's a lot of extra money to reinvest in your business. You have more security in your mind. So when you have a steady paycheck coming and you're building your business on the side, you're not as stressed about your bills, yourself too thin, and you're able to make some really big macro decisions about your business instead of making them day by day because you have to. And I'm not saying that happens to everyone. I'm just saying that for me, I have a lot less stress focusing on building my business while also building my career because I have that. I basically have two streams of income, and one I don't even touch. I just kind of reinvesting it into my own business, which I think is a really, really big advantage. Yeah, sorry guys, the signal is going to be really bad. This is hotel Wi-Fi. It's rough. The audio should be clear, but the video is going to be pretty shoddy. So I apologize for that. If the audio is the audio so clear, I see Thrifty Doctor saying the audio is clear. Let me know if in the chat how the audio is looking, guys. I know the video is not going to correct. Linda Stewart's in the chat. She said, "I'm retired business, so I'm going to watch the Royals this time. See you next time." No problem, Linda. Enjoy the Royals. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going here. Not terribly great on the audio. Goes in and out. That's not good. Maybe I will. Audio's good. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep going then, guys. Hi, Destiny. Hi, Pam. Hi, Nerdle. Thanks for stopping in. It's just really that extra. I think my made, whether it ends up being good or bad, the ability to purchase and not have outlaying that much cash allows me to scale so much faster. I'm about to inject 3,000 into my business where I've been listing 350 a month. Not saying I'm going to list them all in a month, but at least make the attempts to scale a lot faster. So the next thing is learning from your career. I might stop the broadcast and I'll try to redo it from my phone, maybe. If this is going to keep being bad, I don't want to keep torturing you guys. I'm going to keep going for another minute. If it keeps cutting out, let me know, and I will switch to my phone and see if I can stream it from there. The ability to scale for me is huge, and I want to keep scaling leaps and bounds, and having both the career and the money from both my business and my career allows me to Oh, I could just do audio. That's actually a really good idea. Let me see about that, guys. That's a good idea. All right. Hopefully that's better with just the audio. Sorry about that in the beginning, guys. Hopefully I don't lose too many in here. Still got 60 watching live. Hopefully this works. So yeah, just to kind of recap, now that it's not having a choppy screen. So extra capital, faster scaling for me is a big one. Just made that bulk purchase. I was able to do that and pull the trigger without having to worry because I've been able to reinject that cash. Now the next thing for me is learning new skills. I think that this is overrated and overlooked a lot. I think that when you are in a job, I mean, no matter what the job is, you have the opportunity to see how a business is performing, right? You have the ability to see how they're operating, whether it's efficiently or inefficiently. And I think sometimes we get focused on the negative. Oh, I don't like my job. I don't like who I work for. I don't like where I am, which is great. You're building your business to do something about it. But also while you're there, don't forget that you can still suck value out of that, right? While still delivering value to your employer. And whether the business is run well or not, you're either going to see the pitfalls they're facing and know to avoid them, or you're going to see the things they're doing well, and you can take mental notes and prepare and think about how you want to build your business and scale it and incorporate what they're doing well. So I think there's a huge opportunity when you're building both a career and a business, is you can leverage that back and forth. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And I'm going to give a couple examples for me. Hold on, Charles has a question here. Do your coworkers? So at my current job, no, they don't. At my last job, yes, they did. I don't think it matters a whole lot as long as you're delivering value to your company. And I think this kind of pairs nicely, Charles. I think that was a good question on, while you're at your work, I think it's incredibly valuable into your self-confidence, morally, everything, is that while you're working full-time, that you're still producing value for your company. Whether you want to be there or not, make sure that you're producing value for the money exchange that you're getting paid to be there. And then in your spare time is when you're building your business. Try not to mix the two. Try not to cheat one or the other. Dare to it. But also make sure you take out of your job what it can offer, the skills. An example for me is company decisions and how you structure data. It's an incredibly invaluable experience. I'm able to see these big macro picture things that grow as a business if you don't plan ahead, and the things they do well when they grow and plan ahead. I would like to scale my business, and seeing these different allows me to plan ahead and to learn new work in Excel all day long, which I know a lot of people are intimidated by Excel, and it can be intimidating, but I have the privilege of being able to do that and to get paid basically to continue learning about Excel and tools like that. And so, I think that that's something that we can't take advantage of when you're in that situation, because there's going to be the day when your business gets too big and you have to just go full out in your business, and you don't get that anymore. Yeah, right now, guys, just because my hotel Wi-Fi is terrible, so I'm just doing audio, just be smoother and less robotic. So apologize, guys, for that. But yeah, and for me, the skill thing is huge. I've been reflecting on that a lot as I've been working, and I like going to work every day, and I like growing my eBay business. I'm very privileged that I can do both, and I get to solve problems in both. And so I just want to soak up all the skills I can get. So hopefully you guys can kind of relate to that a little bit. I'm not sure where you're at or what your career is like, but I just always feel like there's something you can learn. Like, don't waste the time. Don't just check in and check out, because you can grow as a person, which will impact your business in the long run if you take something out of your job as well. So then the fifth biggie, and I think a lot of people, we don't talk about this enough, is the socialization of having a job. Like, I am a super social person, if you can't tell. The isolation of reselling and being out on your own all the time, I think it's going to be daunting if I ever get to that point where I'm doing that. And that's why I think I focus on scale and building a bigger business, because I think I need to be around people. If I ever wasn't around people, I would struggle a lot. I love the small talk, right? I love knowing how people's days are going. I love, hearing about what's going on in people's lives and things are going well. You share in the things you're challenged with at work, and just kind of that team aspect. I've always played sports. I played baseball, basketball, and football growing up. Athletics was a big deal to me. Teams are a big deal to me. Working in teams is a big. So I just, the career, having a career and building a business kind of allows you to get best of both worlds. So, you know, that's kind of how I view it. So those are my top 5, I guess, as far as like the benefits of having a career and building a business. So I'm just going to pause and look in the chat here for a second, and then I'm going to go through the cons and kind of the other things that are almost sacrifices of doing that. Nina's saying I do part-time eBay. I just actually started a new job yesterday and left my old job for this one because I'll get a 401k. That's big picture for me and a huge benefit. That's awesome, Nina. And yeah, looking big picture it's a big deal, right? Like you have to plan for the long run, not just for tomorrow. And I think that's really cool. All right. So I'm going to pivot to the cons, and then we'll leave the rest of the time for some Q&A and just kind of just to chat with you guys about what's going on. So one of the big cons of doing both, because, you know, there are a lot of pros, but there are some cons. And, you know, the first one is time. The 2 main things I do, or 3 main things I do, is I go to work, right, my career, my business, and I spend time with Shannon. Like those are pretty much the 3 things I do every day. And they're pretty much the only things I do. I play softball once a week, and I play basketball once a week, sometimes twice a week if we have 2 leagues. We occasionally do some stuff with friends, but it's like here and there. And, you know, that's one of the big sacrifices of doing both if you want to grow your business to a big size. I think you can have incredible balance, have a nice part-time income from eBay, have a career, and have balance. But if you're trying to scale like I am, I think that's where the time sacrifice comes in. And, you know, waking up really early, going to bed really late, you know, sleeping 5, 6, 7 hours at most, you know, on your lunch break, going to your storage unit, shipping, you know, late at the end of the night. Except for apparently Shannon is logged in. Oh, whoops, that's weird. I think Shannon just made a comment in the chat with my login from home. That's odd. Must be she's on her computer. But yes, I mean that is the big detractor, is the time. So that's con number 1. You know, the other big one is kind of the mentally and physically. And this one I don't talk about a ton, but you know, to mentally grind, you know, to go from job to eBay every single day and just switch gears and switch like the drop of a hat, it can be very grueling. It's rewarding. Like for me, it's incredible for me to do it. It's exciting and I'm passionate about it, but it also can wear on you too, right? You get to Thursday, Friday, trying to get that focus back hard, trying to get that focus when you get out of work to pound out some eBay lists. Sometimes I just want to sit on the couch and relax and watch a show. But instead, I need to multitask and do listings while watching it or sitting with Shannon. Or, you know, sometimes I have to do a 20 or 30-minute workout instead of doing a longer one in a program I'd like to do, because guess what? Time is of the essence. So I think that wear and tear in your body is definitely a big one. And focusing on the fitness aspect of it is really difficult. And I'm getting better about it. And thank goodness I have Shannon to help me with the eating and, you know, the fitness and staying active. But if I didn't have that, like that, I can see that being a slippery slope, doing both and letting those things slide, because you just start prioritizing your business and your career over everything else. Scott's in the chat, and he just said, built my business on my time, already a pension from my fortune, sacrificing personal time now before early retirement in 9 years. Right, exactly, Scott. You know, and it's just all outlook, and I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. If you're wanting to come to you guys and chat about this, was just to talk about this side, because it doesn't get talked about a lot. And I think there are a ton of you out there doing this, right? There's a ton of people out there building a career and doing very well at it. And I just think it's really cool to hear about that. And, you know, Scott, especially, I know you've got some big things happening there. And, you know, to be doing that and getting ready and gearing up for an early retirement and be exciting for you, and you're passionate and you're running hard, but there are some sacrifices to do that. So, you know, those were really my 2 big cons. And it was more, but this kind of consolidated them really early in those 2 buckets of the time and then the mental and physical wear and tear. And then just, you know, the socialization with your friends and things like that. Like we don't do as much as we used to, but it's for a reason, right? Like we have an end goal in mind, and eventually that time will shift and they'll have some of that back. So I'm just going to kind of open it up. I see a lot of really cool comments in the chat. Just want to take any questions you guys want at this time. It doesn't have to be about this topic, really anything. I just want to chat for the next 15 minutes before relaxing and getting to bed for tomorrow. Thrifty Doctor said, the biggest con to me is not having my own time. I love my job, but I'm just at the point in my life where I want to be in control of what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Yeah, and that's a great point. And I think it kind of hits on what I was saying about the con as a time is you get to a point where you have to make a decision for yourself on what's more important. And if financially you're able to do it and that time is worth the most to you, then I think that's a good decision for you. And I think that's why it's personal for everyone. Like there is no one size fits all answer here. And time is the one thing you can buy it, but you can't get more of it really, right? You get the same 24 hours as anyone else. So that's something that you have to weigh out. Another question is, do you have any plans in the far future to maybe quit your full-time job or do reselling full-time? And that's a great question, and I get asked it a lot right now. And I would say term, I'm thinking a couple of years, I can see doing both and maintaining both just because there's a lot of advantage to me. I would like to have my own business completely and that be the only thing I do eventually, but I don't want to take a step backwards in income, which is kind of the difficult part, right? Because I have two incomes right now, which means I need to get to a point where my business replaces both of those incomes and I feel comfortable with it. And I want to be completely debt free before I do that. Hopefully with minus like a mortgage, because I do have a townhouse that will be a rental property eventually. And there's other outlets and revenue streams I want to explore, and I'll be doing more content about it later in the future when I get into it. But rental property is a big passion of mine. I think it's kind of a means to an ends for me. Vanessa just asked a question, do you feel that your quality of life has decreased or increased in light of the eBay cons? It's increased. And in spite of all the things I just said, driven or passionate about what I'm doing because I'm doing both. Challenge for me, that's just the challenge of doing both really drives me and keeps me motivated and energetic. And I think the reseller community, especially on YouTube and social media, has really been inspiring because I'm watching people who are exerting even more effort than I am in the same amount of time. So it makes me realize that it can keep getting better and better. And I also have to say, Shannon is probably she's the most supportive person when it comes to this. She understands it fully. We share our lives together, and because of that, it works, and the quality of life goes up. And I try to talk to her about what we can do to make sure we're balancing the time right and making sure that we're setting that aside and making sure we're doing well with it. So, but yeah, overall, I think it's gone up definitely. Let me see. Beach Time Reseller said, I built my eBay business over 2 years living for it. Now I try to balance more and spend time with family, exercising, and don't need to grow anymore. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, and that's kind of the thing is you go hard for a while. It's a phase of life, right, for me, and then it'll shift, and I'll get more of that time back. So yeah, totally agree with that. That's cool. Congrats. How long is your lunch break? Do you go pull items out of your storage and ship, or pull items and ship from home? I take 30 minutes, ship one item. Yeah, so I just pull them from my storage unit at lunch. That's a great question. So I leave, it's 10 minutes when I work. I pull everything. It takes me another 10 minutes to get home. I kind of drop everything off. I usually take Thor out, my dog, for a walk, and then I head back to work. And usually I'm back in about 50 minutes. So it's good. I get out of the office, clear my head, get some sunshine, get all my inventory so it's ready to ship for the evening, and it works out well. Thrifty Doctor said, I tried to put myself in a full-time reseller mindset on our spring break. I teach high school, and it was scary. Yeah, and I've done that too before. I mean, when I was in between jobs, when I switched, I had that full week, and I went hard, and it was super fun. But the way my business is set up right now, I don't know if I would enjoy that full-time every day, day in, day out. I think it would have to be a little more scaled for me to really enjoy it. Tony said, went to a 23-mile yard sale, got Harley-Davidson boots, 250, sold 92, shipped. Wow, that's awesome. Congrats, Tony. Yeah, Harley-Davidson sells great. We're up to 80 viewers watching live, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me on this random Tuesday night from Cincinnati. Sorry about no video, but we're making the best that we can out of this hotel Wi-Fi. Really appreciate it, guys. Pam said, I would love to quit my 9-to-5. Yeah, and I think, guys, and I'm not knocking that. I want to be very careful with here. I am not knocking the pursuit of leaving your 9-to-5. Owning your own time is, I think, one of the best accomplishments anyone could ever have, to own it completely. Yeah, sorry, Shannon. You can't see my face. The Wi-Fi is a little too bad. But yeah, owning your own time, I think, is an incredible accomplishment. And I don't think that you should stop pursuing that. I just think that while you're in the midst of the journey, and I want to give credit where credit's due here. I watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk. And one thing he talks about all the time, I completely agree with, is enjoy the journey, right? Don't miss out on right now, right? Because you're thinking about 2 years or 3 years down the road when you finally can leave at 9 to 5, use it as motivation, but don't forget to pull out of, right? Don't forget to get the value out of the phase of life you're in now. Don't forget to find the skills in the job you're in now, because there's a huge opportunity to grow and leverage through this. And it's a huge, you don't want to waste a day, right? Like, you don't want to waste enjoying a day, even though you're trying to get to somewhere else down the road, because that journey is a part of it. And I want to give all credit for what I just said to Gary Vaynerchuk, because I'm pretty much paraphrasing what he's about and what he says. That is not an original thought of mine, but I do passionately believe it. Thrifty Doctor said, another huge pro of having your job while doing eBay, all eBay money can go to pay off debt and go towards savings. Completely agree. And that's what I'm doing, Thrifty, is I'm knocking down all my debt, I'm increasing my savings, and I'm just trying to put myself in a really where I'm not controlled by anything. Beach Time Reseller said, you significant other has to be on board. Yeah. And I agree, guys. I am super, super blessed, appreciative of Shannon and everything that she is supportive of and understanding of. I couldn't do anything I do without her, honestly. So big shout out to her. She's in the chat. Hopefully it gets me some brownie points, Shannon. Top Broker said, question, when you are working on the eBay side for hours at a time, what do you do to stay focused? That's a really good question too. So that's evolved over time. I used to, if you listen to E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, I used to listen to a lot of his stuff while like listing items, just because he's so high energy. It kind of kept me focused and alert. Listen to a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk, a lot of audiobooks. But the other big key for me is I try not to do anything for more than 45 minutes to an hour. So as soon as that hour is straight for an hour, and then I'll get up and I'll take a walk. Like, I'll take the dog out for a walk, come back, and then I'll start doing measurements. And then I'll take the dog out for a walk, or just go do a workout, and then come back. So I really try to break it up. And like in the morning, same thing. My morning routines, like I read, I journal, I do photos, right? I take a little bit of a break, like I let the dog out, and then I come back and finish up stuff. So I always try to break it up so that I'm kind of for a half hour at hand and going all out on that. Let's see. While listing, yeah, same here. I put the fifth. That's a sold a Canali suit last night for $149.95 plus shipping. Paid $20. Sold in 24 hours. Yeah, suits are where it's at. I love selling suits and blazers. Great score there. And FaceTime. I will call you after this, I promise. Vanessa said, communication with significant other is vital for success on eBay. It is a grind at times. Yeah, totally agree. It's definitely a grind. Question from Jordan. When you first started, how many items did you list per week or month? When I first started reselling, like clothing, I'll talk to clothing just for reference point. It's probably 3.5 years ago or so. I was only listing a couple of items a week. I was just learning, right? I was picking up 5-6 items at the thrift store on a weekend, figuring out how to list, before I even 200 items maybe. It was more like a side. And I got serious about it. I started ramping up, but in the beginning, I just kind of took my time, was learning. PGH Pick said, one of my mentors so many years ago always told me, if you always do what you have always done, you will always have what you have right now. Yeah, and that's very similar to a Jim Rohn quote of just kind of, if you want more, you have to be more. Like, if you really want to put it that simply, like if you want to have more, you need to become more. You need to become something more that's capable of having more. And I like that philosophy. I think it's pretty appropriate. Nina says, love Gary. He motivates the out of me. Yeah, he does. He lays it out there. He doesn't sugarcoat it. Says, I'm just starting. We were hoping to build enough for my husband to quit his full-time job to travel full-time in our RV. Right now, eBay has a 5 listing limit over my head. Well, about 60 items sit. That's a great goal. And, over the long period of time, you can definitely get there. You just have to be consistent and passionate and have the right systems in place. But it definitely is a grind, and it will take a while. The listing limit, call eBay and ask if they'll lift it for you. Once you make your first sale, you can call and negotiate and get that list lifted to a higher limit. Drummer says he's going to start the hour, kind of break up between tasks. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Drummer. GB said, when is the website going live? That's a great question, and I know I keep punting on this, guys, but it's pretty much ready. I'm just waiting. I really want to give my my designer credit where credit's due, and he's filling out his kind of this entrepreneur spotlight. It's the first blog article for that portion of the site, and I really want when it launches for it to be there because he's done an amazing job with the site. So he's finishing up that in the next day or so. Hopefully it'll be live. Worst case this weekend. I know I keep punting on it, and I feel bad. It is a top priority, but I have other priorities that are a little above it. But it's just about there, and it will have all the free resources for you guys to download, I promise. Let's see what else we got here. Charles Haley said, what was the Gary Vee video that motivated you to start doing your eBay biz more seriously? Great question. If you Google or go to his channel and search for the word August. So it's literally called August. It's probably one of his trademark videos. It came out last August 2016. It's a very in-your-face video. It was awesome. I remember sharing it on Facebook with a couple of my friends who are very, very entrepreneurial, have their own businesses, and like that was pretty much what did it for me. I just was like, wow, I need to do more. This isn't enough. I need to do more if I'm really serious about this. So yeah, check it out. It's definitely very motivational. Chris St. Marie said, question, can you describe how you create your inventory numbers for storage? Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of videos on listing tutorials that have it in there, but at a high level, after I package my item, I put a piece of masking tape over the poly bag with the bin location, so it has a letter, and then the number of the item. And so every bin is like B100 through 150, and you know, that sort of thing. And so I know B126 is in bin B100 to 150. So pretty simple, nothing too complex. Check out those videos, and if you have other questions, just feel free to email me, and I can help you out. I'm going to take questions for like another 5 minutes, guys, and then I'm going to wrap up so I can talk to Shannon and go to sleep. Nina said, what kind of audiobooks do you like? So I love personal development. I pretty much only read and listen to nonfiction. I try to read every morning. I only do like 10 pages just to kind of spark my mind. Right now I'm reading the book Grit. Grit. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. I love listening to Peter Voog is one of my favorites. Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect is one of my other favorites. Actually, I'm listening to Tony Robbins' new book that just came out. It's all about investing. It's pretty unique. It's a lot different than most of his stuff. But I don't care for a ton of his stuff, although it's good. I just have a hard time listening to his voice. But this one's really, really good. Let's see. Tony said, how do you handle real low ball offers like I get declined, or just tell them to get a real offer? Tony, actually, you know what I do? I just reply. So if they lowball me, I reply with like $1 off the item. A lot of times you'll be surprised how quickly they'll come up, right? Like they send a lowball just kind of feeling you out. You send something back showing you're not going to budge too much. A lot of times they'll meet you a little higher. Also, the offers, Tony, you countering actually increases your listing visibility because it looks more active in the eBay algorithm and it'll bump it up. So don't miss the opportunity to counter, guys. Let's see. Simple to Face said, how many items a day you basically sell a day and with how many total items posted? So right now I have 1,700 items. I usually sell between like 220 and 240 items a month. So I'd say like, what is that, about 8 per day? Average is exactly 8 per day, but it averages out to right about there right now. Kylie said, I need help with the tax side. Do you have an LLC? I have an LLC, but I haven't filed as one yet. I started it to kick off this year, so I have the option to use it at the end of the year. For more tax advice, I really think you should consult a tax professional because I am not one. I wish I could offer more. But quarter one video showing how to keep track for taxes. You should definitely check that out and see. Better Barbie said, don't forget to try Skyline Chili. Yeah, and I will not. Everyone here, so I'm working with a consultant and some of our IT folks said the exact same thing. They're like, you need to go get that. Tomorrow night, you need to go get that. So that is on my list tomorrow to charge you that. So thank you, Better Barbie. Yeah, there's no video, guys. If you're just joining now, my hotel Wi-Fi is terrible, so I decided to kind of podcast it up, and some viewers suggested it, and it's worked out great. I am not thrifting. Sometimes I'm not thrifting while I'm here. It's kind of hard. My suitcase is pretty well packed. I'm here for a couple of days, so I am not thrifting. Angela Duck Good book. Is a question. QL5 called. I've had it forever. I bought it used. I'm probably going to do printer. I'm not staying with anything. It was a pain in the butt, but I recommend it. Sure, solution. Have fun. Thanks for stopping in. Really appreciate it. Elon Musk book. That's a good plug. I haven't read any of his stuff, so I'm going to add that to my list. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully it helps. I would definitely involved. You can get the rolls in bulk for pretty cheap. It just makes the peel and stay much easier. So I just want to thank everyone for stopping in this tonight. I'm actually going to do a show. Well, actually, I might not do the show now. I might postpone with Chris because his Wi-Fi is so bad. But Chris from 10Can, the Bay, and myself, we're going to talk about my bulk purchase and all of his bulk purchasing. We're going to do a kind of a special episode on bulk purchasing because I'm a newbie to it. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have as far as bulk buying goes, and we're kind of both learning as we go. So we're going to share kind of our ups and downs of that over this next show. We're probably going to be Friday night, maybe when I get back. I'll see what his schedule looks like. But thanks for stopping in, guys. I'm going to bounce now. Have an awesome night. Check me out on Instagram, and I've been posting quite a bit on there. And we'll hopefully have some other videos out to you guys shortly. Thank you.